Let's check it out. Let's see what this is all about. iCarly, Jennette's Nightmare, Miranda's Legacy. Interesting. Why is it Jennette's Nightmare? Find
Popular
out.
live-action show in Nickelodeon history, iCarly, Miranda
I
Cosgrove and
I
Jennette
loved iCarly, by the way. That was like my favorite show back when I was a kid.
McCurdy appeared to be great friends, and they were. However, Jennette was suffering, and
She got so
nobody
skinny
knew
here, by the
about
way.
it. Jennette was forced into acting by an abusive mother who did things you would not wish on your worst enemy.
Oh,
But she
Jesus.
couldn't escape because on set she was being manipulated by a
Didn't this
powerful
guy like didn't he go to jail or something? Didn't he like do like sexually harass kids or something like that?
Nickelodeon showrunner.
Stop laughing at the director. Show some respect, Jennette. Respect. No smiling.
That's so weird. You're such a weirdo.
Take $100 off her check.
Miranda, on the
What?
other hand, was raised in a loving home with parents who worked hard to keep her emotionally.
Wait a minute. It's kind of interesting. Are both her parents white? Because Miranda Cosgrove looks like, doesn't she look like she has some, like, she's kind of Asian? No, right? She looks a little Asian to
Without
me,
realizing it, Miranda
or maybe not. I don't know.
became a part of a story far more tragic than she could have imagined, and the choices she made.
I guess
changed
not. I don't
Jennette's
know why I
life
thought she
forever.
looked. I don't
This
know.
is the dark side of iCarly, how one young girl thrived while the other barely survived.
Although to be fair, I haven't really seen Miranda Cosgrove like, in movies and shows and like out here like getting like, like A-list celebrity. Like I haven't really. I mean, she probably is better off than Jennette, but
Jennette's life started out as nothing short of hell on earth.
Uh-oh.
Born in Southern California to a poor Mormon family, Jennette grew up witnessing her mom, Deborah McCurdy, battle stage 4 breast cancer. After
Jesus.
learning about her diagnosis, Deborah became a hoarder, attaching meaning and significance to even the tiniest objects. Their
Damn.
home quickly became suffocated by overwhelming piles of random stuff. It got so bad that Jennette and her brothers could no longer sleep in their own bedrooms and had to resort to gymnastic mats laid on the floor in the
Jesus
living room.
Christ.
It really did not feel like a home. It felt like a place of chaos and of turmoil and turbulence. Jennette's mother always
That's so
dreamed of
fucked,
being
you
an
know?
actor, so she projected her own unattainable aspirations
Onto her
onto
daughter?
And
Yeah.
despite her daughter being a shy and uncomfortable performer, she was clearly a promising young talent, making guest appearances on Mad TV, CSI,
What are they spraying on them?
Malcolm in the Middle, and Law and
Wait, she
Order.
was on Malcolm in the Middle.
Talent,
I love
guest
that show.
appearances on Mad TV, CSI, Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh wow. I remember this episode. It's like instead of the three boys, they had like three girls, and like what life would be like with girls instead of boys. I never realized that was her. That's
And
crazy.
Law and Order. Deborah's need for control went beyond strict parenting and managing her daughter's acting career. It was an all-consuming obsession that dictated every facet of Jennette's existence. She would shower Jennette for her until she was 11, oftentimes putting
What?
Jennette and her 16-year-old brother in the shower together.
That's weird.
She shaved her legs for her and performed routine breast and vaginal exams on Jennette to check her for cancer. Her mom
Oh,
even
wow.
taught her how to restrict her calories in an attempt to delay puberty.
Holy shit! Look at her. Look how skinny she is. Look at her arms. Okay, now hold on. I'm gonna say something, and I don't want it to come off as like mean or something. But when I saw her in iCarly, she seemed like well fed. Like she didn't seem super skinny like here. You know what I mean? Or like what she looks like now. Now she looks really skinny. And iCarly, she looked like
and
she
appeared
like
younger to land
was
more
well fed,
jobs,
not fat or
essentially
anything like
encouraging
that,
Jennette to
but like
become
normal. You know.
anorexic.
So I asked if there was a way that I could stop
Here
the
she's
fitness
you can obviously like
management.
her bones in her feet, like you can tell obviously she's like really skinny here.
Well, there's a thing called calorie restriction, and it became our sort of secret and our
In
code
iCarly,
to
the
say
show,
that
it doesn't seem like that to
serving
me.
into this really bond
Personally,
us.
is what I think.
It was our thing. Yep. No one else got this thing. We got this thing. I can look at you from across the room and know you got me and I got you, and we were just in the disease, in the sickness, but there was a connection that the sickness created that I, of course, couldn't see at the time.
Her favorite foods soon became sugar-free popsicles, applesauce, and
Ew.
unsweetened iced tea, and her dinners often consisted of iceberg lettuce with dressing spray and ripped-up pieces of low-calorie bologna.
Jesus
This also
Christ.
made for a confusing dynamic as Jennette's character on iCarly was obsessed with food, constantly indulging
I'm just saying she doesn't look like malnourished or like super skinny. Like in these, it's just my,
Binge
I don't
eating,
know.
which to her almost felt like a mockery of her real life. But again, nobody knew what Jennette's mother was doing to her. Not only was she a malnourished child, but she also dealt with the same stresses of adult
I'm just saying, an
actors
iCarly shouldn't look malnourished to me. That's all I'm saying. Obviously, in these other, like you can tell in these other photos and like, I haven't seen her in other shows and things like that.
That's a good question. I remember I would cry on several occasions when it just felt like it really got to be too much, and I'd tell my mom, I don't want to do this anymore, but she would either say like, Net, you don't mean that, or she'd say, well, we need this. So there were kind of two different arguments that she would hit me back with, and then I'd feel guilty. And, would keep.
I wonder how much money she
doing it.
made off
Which
of
is why
iCarly
when
and
she
all
landed
that.
the role of Sam Puckett
All
on
the
iCarly
acting
at age
shows.
14, she thought it would be a breakthrough moment. Everything's going to be better. Mom will finally be happy. Her dream has come true. Unfortunately, iCarly was not going to be the saving grace that Jennette had hoped
Gibby.
for. But the one bright spot was the close friendship she formed with her co-star, Miranda Cosgrove. Unlike Jennette, Miranda's parents never intended to force their child into the entertainment industry. An agent discovered Cosgrove at a Los Angeles food festival with her parents. Her
Interesting.
mother, Chris, inspected the business card but remained hesitant to put her child in front of the camera. So they started off slow, first getting her appearances in Burger King commercials and then occasionally auditioning for theater and television
Megan.
shows. However, Miranda's life drastically
School of
changed
Rock was a
after securing
great
her film
movie.
debut in the comedy School of Rock.
Great
The
movie.
film stars Jack Black as Dewey Finn, a down-on-his-luck musician who poses as a substitute teacher at a prestigious prep school. He then discovers his students are musically talented and secretly turns them into a rock band to compete in the Battle of the Bands.
Such a good movie.
Cosgrove plays the role of Summer Hathaway, the hilariously uptight and naive band manager.
What's the matter?
You want me to be a groupie?
Well, groupie's an important job.
I research groupies on the internet. They're sluts. They sleep with a band.
School of
Jesus
Rock was
Christ.
unanimously loved by fans and critics.
It's
grossing
so
over
good.
$131 million at the worldwide box
I wonder how much
office.
it cost to
Miranda
make that
performed the
movie.
role of
Probably
a
not that
bossy, yet
expensive.
charmingly smug child so well that it made her the obvious choice for the role of Megan Parker.
I love Drake and Josh too. These like Drake and Josh and iCarly were like Drake and Josh and iCarly were like my two shows. You know what I mean? Like my child and SpongeBob. Those were like the three like childhood shows like I remember the most.
Understand how massive this opportunity was. When I really understood I was acting, since I did it from the time I was so little, I never thought of it as a job, and I didn't realize that everybody didn't do it. Miranda was so innocent, not even knowing she was working, compared to Jennette, who became painfully aware of her reality as her mother taught her how to starve herself to secure more acting
That
roles.
is
to pay the
crazy.
bills.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
shocking to learn of Miranda's innocence, considering her character on Drake and Josh was borderline evil. Drake and Josh aired on Nickelodeon from 2004 to 2007 and follows two teenage
Wait, that's
boys who
it?
become
3 years? I thought it was longer than that.
stepbrothers after their parents get married. The two boys could not be more opposite. However, they would bond in fear of their cunning and mischievous little sister, Megan. Megan takes great pleasure in tormenting her older brothers.
What makes you think that I would have the baby?
Because you're a devious, twisted little girl.
Why, thank you, Drake.
While she appears sweet and innocent to adults, she is secretly always
Oh,
plotting
I
bad
remember this
schemes to
episode.
outsmart Drake and Josh.
No way. You just hustled me.
No, I didn't. I just pretended to be bad so that you'd bet me, and then I stopped being bad and I took your money.
That's hustling.
There's a word for it? Cool.
Miranda's devious charm helped solidify Drake and Josh as the most beloved and influential live-action sitcom on Nickelodeon at
Oh,
the
wow.
time, drawing in millions of viewers per episode, peaking at 5.8 million viewers for its highest-rated
Jesus.
special. Miranda's parents were wary of the impact that fame could have on their daughter, so they did everything they could to maintain a normal lifestyle, such as choosing to still live
I
in the
wonder,
house
does she still act or is she like doing her own thing? Is she doing like what does she do? I don't know.
where Miranda was born, and her
Is she a
father
singer? I don't
continued
know.
to work every day at his dry cleaning business. Her parents also tried to keep Miranda in public school.
In elementary school, I just remember thinking, wow, I'm popular. All of a sudden, I don't think I was thinking about it too much. And I remember, like, the kid that I had a crush on who didn't know I existed all of a sudden talked to me. Like, I think I just thought things were coming up roses.
However, by the time she reached 6th grade, her acting schedule clashed with her education, and Miranda needed to make a huge decision. It took a
School
lot
or
for my
acting,
mom to
huh?
give in. I remember her asking, "Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to stay in acting?" And also noticed that 10 and 11-year-old Miranda Cosgrove actually had a choice.
That's a big decision though for like an 11-year-old. You know, that's kind of crazy because you're not really because 11-year-olds don't really understand it like an adult would. You know what I mean?
Something that most other child actors don't have. She ultimately chose to pursue acting and leave a normal life behind. Miranda immediately transitioned to private schooling on set with Drake and Josh.
I remember when I was doing schooling, at first you guys were with me, and then within 6 months, you both were no longer. I don't remember if it was because you graduated or if it was because
God,
I kept
so
saying
good.
to my mom, "Where did Drake and Josh go?"
Kevin, the teacher, you remember Kevin?
Oh, Kevin Mall, I remember him. Yes,
Kevin Mall.
He used to make me raise my hand. I was the only one when you guys left in the classroom.
They made you raise your hand and you were the only one.
That's
in the
weird.
classroom?
Yes, he said he was preparing me if I ever had to go back to regular school.
Most child actors
I
in Miranda's
guess.
position,
I
like
guess.
Jennette, feel extremely isolated, missing out on normal childhood experiences.
Yeah,
while
I
they
can see.
spend
I could
long
see
hours.
how it's like being a childhood actor. Like you think, oh, you know, I'm acting. Everyone's gonna love me. I'm gonna have so many friends. I can see how it's like really like lonely.
On set under the intense pressure to perform. Their social circles are typically limited to co-stars, adults, and industry professionals,
Right.
which never gives them a break from essentially this made-up fantasy world they live in. But Miranda's parents made key decisions that set her on a much different path than Jennette. The California Labor Code, Section 1308.5, requires that a parent or legal guardian be present at all times when a minor is working in the entertainment industry. Since Miranda's mom was always hovering around her on set, she kept her in check. In one instance, Miranda unintentionally ignored someone leaving her dressing room, and her mother made sure she acknowledged their presence and said goodbye. "Miranda," Chris said sharply, "someone said goodbye to you." Cosgrove stopped short and turned around. "Oh, I'm so sorry," she said earnestly. "Goodbye. It was nice to meet you." It may seem small, but enforcing normal
Miranda,
social
no, she seems like a
rules and
really
instilling
like
discipline
good
into a
person.
child who could have easily turned into a diva is likely
I mean, I
what
don't know
helped
her,
Miranda
but
become
like
so
from
normal.
like what I hear,
Cuss a little.
Do you?
Also, yeah.
What's your favorite curse
she
word?
seems nice.
Drake and Josh ended when Miranda was just 14 years old. With plenty of years ahead of her and obvious star power as a child actor, Nickelodeon had no choice but to build a new show around Miranda. That
Yeah.
show would bring together two young girls who
iCarly
were
was a
living
banger.
drastically different lives behind the scenes. Dan
Interesting.
Schneider, who was the head producer, writer, and creator
I mean, you can look at this dude. You
Nickelodeon,
can just tell he's a weirdo.
originally planned to create a show where Miranda plays a normal girl who gets cast to star in her favorite TV show called Starstruck. However, he would ultimately scrap the idea and begin the development for iCarly, a show about a group of teenagers running their own online web show, long before YouTubers and social media influencers became household
Wait,
names.
true. Yeah, this was like the original. Like,
Edition invented by my brother Spencer, whose real name is Letitia McPeanuts.
iCarly was way ahead of its time because it predicted the rise of online
True,
entertainment
true,
and
true,
showed
true.
how young people could build an audience outside of traditional media platforms.
True.
iCarly also had a real website where they asked fans to submit content and participate in challenges. The show's humor, quirky characters, and fast-paced storytelling feels like you are watching a kids-oriented YouTube channel or a Twitch show, except with an unreasonable amount of foot jokes.
yeah,
He's
wait,
the biggest
true.
weirdo yet. There he is, peeling a banana while he waits for the bus. Now, you think he's gonna eat the banana, right? Well, think again. Yep, there he goes. Doing the peel. What a freak. And that's why the new champion of Who's That Weirdo in My Neighborhood is Crazy Fruit Dude!
Miranda portrayed a character that was similar to her real-life personality, sweet, wholesome, and silly. Jennette's character, Sam, almost hit a little too close to home. Sam Puckett was known for her tough, no-nonsense attitude, sarcastic humor, and rebellious spirit.
I got kicked out of the cafeteria for slapping Gibby with a piece of pizza.
Why did you slap Gibby with a piece of pizza?
I found it on the floor. I wasn't gonna eat it.
However, the writers included a darker side to Sam, making her one of the most complex characters on the show. She can definitely be seen as problematic and borderline toxic at times,
Right.
frequently resorting to physical violence, which could make her seem like a straight-up bully.
I don't see a car. All I
Oh,
hear
this guy.
is a lot of prattle. And
She can also be manipulative, pressuring Carly into decisions that could get her friend in trouble. But looking beneath that layer, you can also see Sam as a victim of self-destructive behavior, especially considering her on-screen relationship with her mom, which again, I should remind you that nobody knew her struggles with her real mother. Her iCarly mom, Pam, was irresponsible and often absent. Sam was constantly locked out of her house, finding her own food, and
But wouldn't she? I guess she wouldn't tell anyone, right, about like her relationship with her mom because she's like she'd probably be scared to do so, right? Because I'm wondering, like, what if she like told someone, not like maybe Miranda or like a close friend or something like that, like, hey, this is going. I don't know. I'm just
was clearly lacking.
And like, what about her dad? Like, what about that as well?
Which may have forced Sam
I
to
don't know.
develop a tough exterior.
I'm just thinking out loud.
I know who I am. I love you, Mother. What, you think I don't love you? You never say it. Well, it's not easy to say I love you to a daughter who thinks I'm, scummy. I don't think you're scummy. All the time. Really? Yeah, really.
iCarly is considered by many to be the greatest Nickelodeon live-action show in history, and the
Yeah.
numbers would agree. The series averaged over 6 million viewers at
What
its
is
peak.
this? Oh, these are the titles.
And the most watched episode, I Saved Your Life, aired to 11.2 million viewers, which is the second most viewed telecast in Nickelodeon
Rugrats.
history. You would think Miranda
Holy.
viewers, which is the second most viewed.
Oh, SpongeBob Atlantis SquarePantis. What a throwback. I remember when I because they would on Nickelodeon, they like advertise like, hey, this special is coming Friday, you know what I mean? And I remember seeing like the commercial for Atlantis SquarePantis, because these are like special episodes, so they're usually a little bit longer, like 45 minutes to an hour. And I remember, holy, when Atlantis SquarePantis first came, I was like, I'm gonna be there, I can't wait. It was like a Friday, and like you come back home after school and you're just like, it's like it's 7 o'clock or something. Oh my goodness.
Viewed telecast.
Throwback Atlantis
You would think
SquarePantis.
Miranda and Jennette were on top of the world, but a decade later, we would find out the horrors going on behind the scenes.
It was crazy though.
In Jeanette's memoir that was released in 2022, she describes the grim experience working with the creator, which many have interpreted to be Dan Schneider. McCurdy wrote that the creator was mean-spirited, controlling, and terrifying, firing children over basic mistakes and making grown men and women cry with his insults and degradation.
Jesus
You can
Christ.
see a glimpse of this alleged behavior as Dan often walked around the set with his own personal camera.
That's so
filming behind-the-scenes
weird.
content to share on his personal blog, danwarp.com.
That's so weird.
Show some respect, Jennette. Respect. No smiling. All right. Take $100 off her check.
Although it seems like
What?
he's just joking, knowing what Jennette was feeling inside drastically changes the perspective of a clip like this. Jennette also made major accusations that Schneider supplied minors with alcohol, quoting him as saying, "The Victorious kids get drunk together all the time.
The
iCarly
Victorious kids.
are so wholesome. We need to give you guys a little edge." This allegation may have been
Oh,
corroborated
wow.
by the actor who portrayed Beck on Victorious, who posted a TikTok that read, "When you don't remember the plotline to a single Victorious episode, but you remember going out partying every night." Jennette even claimed that Dan would provide
This
unsolicited
guy has to be in jail, right? Like, there's no way this guy's just continuing. Dan No, not Schneider. Oh, here it is. Like, there's no way he's like still at Nickelodeon, like working, right? He's fucking just chilling still. That's crazy.
shoulder massages.
That's
or
wild.
demand
He's just
others to
chilling.
give him massages, to which Dan admitted to.
Let's talk about the massages. Okay. Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
That guy was on iCarly. He was the slushy dude. He worked at the slushy
Wrong
place.
to ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then.
I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well.
I mean, I guess technically you can't get arrested for being a weirdo, right? Like,
some of the behind-the-scenes content with new context, many perceive Dan to be too handsy and touchy. Look at how Miranda steps away from Dan and he proceeds to make his way around her back and hugs her from
oh my
behind
God,
as
that's
she
so
seemingly
weird.
freezes up. However, still to this day, Miranda has never spoken out against Dan Schneider, so we don't know
I wonder
if
why.
she truly had any traumatic experiences working under him.
Wait, I wonder why though.
However, we do know that iCarly was the foundation of Miranda and Jennette's friendship, even though Jennette's mother tried everything she could to prevent it. Jennette writes, on set, Miranda said cuss words like shit and ass, and she took the Lord's name in vain at least 50 times a day. Mom warned me not to get too close to Miranda because she doesn't believe in God. Jennette explained how her mother skewed her view of female friendships since she would cast them in a negative light.
My mom was always saying, men will never really know you and they'll hurt you, but women will know you deeply and then they'll hurt you. You tell me which is worse.
As a result, Jennette was cautious around other girls, but by now she was a teenager, and even her mother's manipulative tactics couldn't prevent her from getting close with Miranda. Miranda and I spent hours talking every day. Even though in person Miranda seemed shy and quiet, she had a distinct and hilarious personality through her written words. So many of the things she said made me laugh. Her way of observing things, people, habits, human nature. I loved her, and I was so excited we were becoming friends. Jennette kept the dark reality of her home life a secret. She hid it from Miranda.
Yeah, which is interesting because I was literally just gonna say, well, if they were so close together, why didn't she like confide in her?
And from everyone. So the fact that her and Miranda truly became friends eliminated the idea that it could have been out of pity. It was genuine.
My best friend
okay, that
is
makes
Jennette
sense.
McCurdy, who was on iCarly with me, and we live really close to each other, and we have sleepovers all the time, and like I literally see her.
So
like,
she
every other day.
probably wouldn't want to, because then she'd probably either think, well, she's gonna think I'm a weirdo and not want to be my friend, or she's just gonna be my friend just because I'm like going through a hard time or something. I don't know.
I'm very grateful for that friendship. It did provide me a lot of comfort in those really challenging years. My relationship with Miranda was hugely healing to my concept of women.
Jennette's time spent with Miranda provided some
What about,
much-needed relief
Freddie?
from her chaotic personal life.
What's Freddie
Sadly,
doing?
It was only temporary, as their journeys were about to go in very different directions after the end of iCarly.
True.
The atmosphere literally couldn't be better. It's like one huge family. We all get along great. I can't think of any group of people that I'd rather get to see every day. And even though I'll see them all the time, knowing that I won't see everybody every day anymore is awful.
At the height of her fame, Miranda earned $180,000 per episode of iCarly, and she was going to use that money to fund her next venture. Jennette, on the other hand, doesn't know what happened to the money.
Did you
wow.
this money, or did all? I'm curious about like the dynamic of how that worked.
Well, there's a thing called the Coogan account that actually takes, or is supposed to take 15% of your money off the top and kind of put it into the child's account so that they can have at least 15% of their money by the time they're 18, and the rest of the money is kind of.
It's like a savings account.
I got these papers that were saying that like the Coogan account information was never properly filed. I got that in my 20s, so that was kind of a little bit of a shock because I really have no idea kind of what was happening, and you know my mom.
What about Sam and Cat? How she was a lot older than Sam and Cat, right? I wonder.
Everything. So
I don't know.
I don't think I ever saw the Coogan account money.
Additionally, Miranda released chart-topping music, performed concerts nationwide.
I never
and
saw her
received
music.
Several major brand deals.
Neutrogena.
Cosgrove got to reap all of the benefits of being a child star, seemingly without being exposed to the horrors that come with it. And that's largely due to her parents refusing to fall victim to the complexities of raising a famous kid. After iCarly ended its 6th season, Miranda decided not to pursue a full-time Hollywood career.
Interesting.
Instead of securing more mature
She could have probably like been like off of iCarly. She could have gotten some good roles, you know, and like snowballed. Interesting.
And trying to prove herself in the industry, she decided to use her acting money to pay for college.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to still be living with my parents for a while because I want to go to USC really bad. So,
What's that? University of South Carolina.
And why do you want to go to college? You're already very wealthy, and I see no reason to get an education. It's just how I look at it.
I'm not saying it. California.
So he wants me to go there really bad.
Or University of South Carolina. USC.
No,
No?
University of Southern California, Los
And what do you want to
Angeles.
study when you go there?
I'm not sure. I was thinking film. That's what I'm really
All right.
interested
Okay. Well, it all fits in. The whole
Interesting. So she did go to college.
Miranda did end
I
up.
literally, wow, it's crazy because I literally at the beginning of the video I was like, I wonder, like, because I didn't really see her in any big movies after iCarly, so I was like, or shows. I was like, I wonder if she like went to. So she did end up going to college. Okay,
Attending the University of Southern California,
That's really cool.
where she switched majors several times before landing on psychology. She
Several
even admitted that
times.
her fame helped her make new friends on campus, but her fame also made her a target.
Really?
As she had multiple stalkers who got dangerously close to her. A crazy fan named Joshua Stockton allegedly started tracking Cosgrove's every move using clues from social media posts.
That's crazy.
According to TMZ, he reportedly went to her campus at USC to see her. He also sent Miranda gifts and later got upset because the packages returned unopened. He also tweeted a photo of his bandaged wrist with the caption, "Frankly, I'm tired of love, and my heart is ready to give out. Maybe I'll finish the job I started."
What the
She was granted a
fuck?
restraining order against the crazy fan, but then 1 year later, he violated it as he followed her on a trip to Disneyland.
That guy
Joshua
needs
Stockton
help.
was given 3 years probation and will be required to complete a 1-year treatment program,
Yeah.
including extensive psychiatric counseling. As
Yeah.
if this wasn't scary enough, Miranda had a close call with another stalker who nearly took her life.
We saw some movie, and then afterwards it was raining, and it never hardly ever rains in LA. So I was kind of like, I don't want to go back to my place, even though my place is pretty close to Arclight. Anyway, I went to my parents' house, and then I got a call at like 3 a.m. that somebody had like died at my house.
What?
And it was the weirdest thing ever because they had like caution tape up, and it was right in my front yard. And basically, I guess a guy came, and he was like burying things in my backyard for like 3 days. He buried a lunchbox with like a milk chocolate inside of it in my backyard, and then he buried like knives and like a rope and like a bunch of random stuff.
What
I
the
found out
fuck?
later that like all that stuff was there, and that he had been like pacing in my backyard with a gun. He also looked like crazy, like he was wearing like this long trench coat, but yeah, he was just like pacing in my backyard, I guess. And
That's so
'cause I had, like,
scary.
security cameras, so later when we looked, we figured out he was back there for like 6 hours or something, like waiting. And then somebody drove up that had a similar car, like that kind of looked like my car, and I guess he got confused and he thought that maybe it was me driving up. It's just like bad luck. And he like shot at this person
That's
like 6 times
crazy.
and missed because she was in a car. She drove away, and then he set himself on fire and he shot himself
What the
simultaneously.
fuck?
And then later, so I got a call at like 3 or 4 in the morning. This happened probably at like 1 in the morning. I got a call at like 3 or 4.
What
in the
is
morning
wrong with
saying, like,
people?
where are you? Like, can you come like to your house because someone like themselves there? And they were trying to just like put it all together, and they still haven't really put it all together, why it happened or like what the person was doing. And then it was crazy too, they found like his car like a few blocks away, and there was like blood and like hair in the trunk. And they were like, oh, he's
What
probably a
the
serial killer. But they never figured out exactly like the story.
Although this experience
Jesus
would probably lead
Christ.
to lifelong trauma from others, Miranda was more upset that he prevented her from meeting new friends.
But so a couple days before the incident with the guy that came to my house, I had never met the guy before, but he came to my house, and this was years ago too, and tried to kill me. So 2 days before that happened,
That's
I
crazy.
had a study group at my house. And the whole time I was inside trying to get these girls to think I was cool and like me and want me to be in the group, this guy was actually in my backyard with a gun, pacing back and forth in my backyard the entire time.
Oh my
Wow,
god.
And
all the girls were there?
Yes, with me and all the girls studying. And me bringing food in and trying
How did
to
you
win
find
them
out?
over. Because later, when everything happened and the police came, they checked the security footage. And so 2 days before, he had already been there.
While you were
Jesus
first
Christ.
trying to like have friends, there was a man with a gun in your backyard.
And then the police had to call all of the girls because for a split second they didn't know who he was. So they were trying to figure out his identity. So they called all the girls thinking maybe it was one of their ex-boyfriends or somehow related to them.
And like,
all
please
of
don't
them-
call my friends. Please don't call my friends.
I was like, please just leave them out of this. They don't have to know.
Jesus
They don't have to be a part
Christ.
of this. I don't really know them anymore.
They were. Well, how do you think they're like? We went in our house once and we almost died.
With the exception of the stalkers, Cosgrove regained a sense of normalcy in the real world, while McCurdy stayed trapped inside the Nickelodeon hellscape.
Hey, Dan Schneider. I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Vine.
Fine.
Look what you've done to me.
What the
In August of
fuck?
2012, Schneider took a fan favorite from iCarly, Sam Puckett, and a fan favorite from Victorious, Cat Valentine,
remember
and
this.
created a teen sitcom titled Sam and Cat. The pilot debuted on Nickelodeon to 4.2 million viewers and was surprisingly popular, but it only lasted one season and was canceled following controversy behind the scenes.
Huh.
You see, Jennette says that Schneider originally promised a show centered around her Sam Puckett character. So are you excited to have your own show? The creator asks. Sure, that's it? No, of course I'm excited. I'm so excited. Good. Because I could give a new show to anyone, you know? But I didn't choose anyone. I chose you. But Dan's promises were empty, as the solo show turned into a sort of buddy comedy alongside Ariana Grande. Jennette and Ariana just barely tolerated each other, mostly because of Schneider's manipulative tactics and the obvious favoritism towards Ariana.
My co-star Ariana Grande is a burgeoning pop star who misses work regularly to go sing at award shows, record new songs, and do press for her upcoming album, while I stay back and angrily hold down the fort. I understand on a surface level why she has to miss work. But at the same time, I don't understand why she's allowed to. I booked 2 features during iCarly that I had to turn down because the iCarly team wouldn't write me out of episodes to go shoot them. Then this week happened. The week where I was told Ariana would not be here at all, and that they would write around her absence this episode by having her character be locked in a box. Are you kidding me? So I have to turn down movies while Ariana's off whistle-toning at the Billboard Music Awards?
True.
Fuck this. Ariana misses work in pursuit of her music career, while I act with a box. If I wasn't such a good sport, I wouldn't be in this predicament in the first place. I wouldn't be on this shitty show saying these shitty lines on this shitty set with this shitty hairstyle. I'm pissed about it. And I'm pissed at her. Jealous of her.
It's easy to see how
Jesus.
Jennette built up resentment towards her co-star. Every time something exciting happens to her, I feel like she robbed me of having that experience myself. As if Jennette's internal struggle wasn't hard enough, her mother Deborah passed away losing her battle with breast cancer.
Ooh.
Near the end of her life, Deborah wrote Jennette a shocking email containing things that no mother should ever say to her child.
Dear Net, I am so disappointed in you. You used to be my perfect little angel, but now you are nothing more than a little, all caps, floozy, all used up. And to think, you wasted it on that hideous ogre of a man. I saw the pictures on a website called TMZ. I saw you rubbing his disgusting hairy stomach. I knew you were lying about Colton. I had told her I was with a friend, Colton. Add that to the list of things you are. Liar, conniving, evil. You look pudgier too. It's clear you're eating your guilt. Thinking of you
Jesus
and
Christ.
of you makes me sick. Sick. I raised you better than this. What happened to my good little girl? Where did she go? And who is this monster that has replaced her? You're an ugly monster now. I told your brothers about you, and they all said they disown you just like I do. We want nothing to do with you. Love, Mom. Or should I say Deb, since I am no longer your mother. P.S. Send money for a new fridge. Ours broke.
Losing a parent is already hard, but what about losing an abusive parent that wholeheartedly admitted they want nothing to do with you? As you can imagine, this sent Jennette's life into a dark place. To compound the stress, McCurdy was the victim of an invasion of privacy when explicit selfies of her surfaced on the internet, which ultimately led to Nickelodeon canceling Sam and Cat, claiming both actresses desired to move on to other projects. Following her mother's passing, Jennette began to struggle with an eating disorder as well as an addiction to alcohol.
As the show was airing, her mother died of cancer. Jennette says her life was spinning out of control, anorexia morphing into bulimia and alcohol abuse.
I was never aiming for bulimia. I was attempting to have anorexia, but I couldn't keep it up without my mom. So then that would lead to, I'd starve myself for so long, and then I'd binge, and then I'd purge because I hated the feeling of fullness. Hated it.
But Jennette remained strong. She was not going to let her trauma destroy the rest of her life. She
Good
first
for
sought
her.
professional help for her eating disorder.
I started with an eating disorder specialist, so it was very clinical, and we didn't get into trauma or childhood stuff. We didn't get into any of that, and I think I needed that at the time because I think I needed to get that addiction under control before being able to go anywhere near like excavating the stuff from the past. I think that would have fueled the addiction if I were working on that in tandem with the addiction.
Jennette knew that addressing and treating the critical aspect of her health was going to be hard enough. So once that treatment helped her regain her strength, then it was time to dive into the complexities of her childhood.
First therapist Laura started asking questions about my mom. Immediately I went into, well, she did this, but it's because she's such a good mom. It's because she wanted me to be successful. It's because she wanted me to have a better life. Like, I didn't even realize that I was at the time, but in retrospect I see, oh, I was disclaiming every single thing that my mom did instead of just stating the reality or how I felt about it. I was more concerned with how to keep my mom looking good than I was with expressing my true emotional reality.
Jennette's journey to restoring her health and well-being was not something that a few therapy sessions would fix, and even after she has spent years working at it, it never truly goes away. Jennette decided to retire from acting in 2016. However, she did write and direct a few short films that are very much inspired by her childhood, but nobody truly knew the severity of her deep emotional hardships until she released her 2022 memoir, I'm Glad My Mom
Oh wow,
Died.
that came out pretty
Doesn't
recently.
necessarily mean Jennette
That came out pretty recently. I thought it was like a lot longer than that. That's like not even 3 years yet.
is celebrating her mother's death, but it does reflect her complicated emotions, grief, relief, and the pain of losing someone who also caused her harm. Her mom's passing meant the end of her control and abuse, finally giving Jennette the chance to heal. The reality is, mourning an abusive parent isn't always simple. Sometimes sadness and relief exist at the same time, and millions of people around the world supported Jennette's vulnerability.
Happiness and sadness can be like
complicated out to the world is not easy. Her memoir sold over 200,000 copies across all formats in its first week, and as of today, she has sold over 2 million copies.
80 weeks, number 1, baby. I'm scared. I don't like blood noises. Okay, I'm scared. Okay.
Oh yeah, before it happens, I've seen this video and it was a little weird.
I hate. This is a bad idea. I hate loud noises.
Like, bro, like she's legit screaming in terror. Like, why even pop it in the first place if you hate loud noises? I don't get it. Like this like I get like I sympathize with her, but like this one video was just like really weird to me because I remember seeing it and I remember like being like, that's so weird. If you hate loud noises, why are you popping that? Just like have balloons or like have confetti in your hands and like throw it up.
Around the same time, Paramount Plus also announced the plan to make a reboot of iCarly, but many were disappointed to learn that Jennette would not be reprising her role as Sam Puckett.
I just want to make things again.
You don't need a partner to do that.
Freddie.
Yeah.
He looks the same.
I need Sam. But she's off following her bliss with that biker gang.
The Obliterators. Hope she's okay.
It's Sam. I hope they're okay.
When Jennette said she was done with acting definitively and the baggage that came with
I think I watched like 5 minutes of the new iCarly thing and like just like turned it off. It was so
her
bad.
castmates respected her decision.
And we all really wanted Jennette to be a part of the show in real life, but she's just doing other things and we're really happy for her. But yeah, we're definitely going to touch on that in the show.
Is the elevator door still open that if Jennette wanted to come back as Sam for an episode?
I doubt it.
Anytime.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that elevator door is always open. It never closed. But again, we want to be respectful of her and the decisions that we made. So obviously, no pressure, of course, but whatever.
Is he flexing the orange Nickelodeon Johnson? Look at that. Him flexing that in front of us like that. I see you, Freddie.
Not only did Jennette not return to the show that made fans around the world love her, she said she wouldn't even watch it because of the demons it might bring back. And although it's heartbreaking that the thing that fans around the world fell in love with her for
that
is the
sucks.
exact same thing that caused her so much pain and suffering, it is comforting to know that she does still cherish one part about her time as a child actor, and that is her friendship that she made with Miranda Cosgrove.
Oh my God, I love Miranda to pieces. I always will. She has such a special place in my heart.
You look so different now that she's older.
Grow as a person and heal as a person, and I hope I did the same for her.
Wow.
And I just love her so much.
Damn, that's crazy. I mean, the craziest thing of that was like, because I knew about like the her mom, but that was crazy. Damn, that's sad. Anyway, I gotta have to pee so badly. I'll catch you all on the next one.